I'm not saying people who were born and raised in Alaska complain less about things than people who were born and raised in the lower states do, but they do complain less. And the things they complain about are very different than what your neighbors in Texas or your relatives in North Carolina complain about. The first complaint that I've heard from Alaskans is there's less moose this year than there were last year. They don't so much complain about this, but rather they say it with a very disappointing expression and voice. I haven't met a single person who is happy they saw less moose this year. The second thing I found that Alaskans complain about is the amount of traffic in the interior during the busy tourist season. But what's funny about this one is that there's actually no traffic on the roads in the interior. During the winter months, it's hard to find other cars on the road with you. And even during the busy tourist season, there are so few cars on the streets, it doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever. Most of the tourists that come to Alaska are with tour groups riding in buses. But keep in mind, for an Alaskan, 15 cars on the highway or 7 cars driving into town at the same time is a lot of traffic. The third complaint you'll hear more often than anything else is once it reaches 70 degrees. But consider this, when it's 45 degrees in Alaska with sun shining, it feels like it's 60 degrees in the lower states. When it's 60 degrees with the sun shining in Alaska, your car feels like a sauna. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I found when it reaches 50 degrees with the sun shining bright, you need to open up the windows in your car while driving. The sun does feel much more hot here than elsewhere, and there's a good reason for this. In the lower states, the sun sits above you, but in Alaska, the sun hits you at a lower angle. There is a big difference between 70 degrees in Alaska and 70 degrees in Virginia. The good news is there's not a lot of sun in Alaska, so this doesn't happen that often. But the next time you hear an Alaskan complain that it's 72 degrees outside, imagine it being 95 degrees outside with the sun shining directly on you, and you'll understand how they feel. I believe, though, in the big picture, Alaskans do deserve credit for taking things as they come and just accepting this is the way things are. One example is the summertime. There seems to be almost a constant drizzle throughout the majority of the summer, particularly in August and September. Most days are overcast and it can get as low as the mid-30s at nighttime in August and not higher than 50 during the day. It does feel chilly when it's also drizzling and wet outside with gusts of winds coming occasionally. But people living here don't complain about this. They do everything in this weather just like you do during your summers. They go hiking, they go camping, they spend most of their time outdoors during these months because winter is coming soon and winters are long. This is the time of the year they can enjoy summer outdoor activities. So if there's anything we've learned in this video, it would be this. Alaska may not be better than everywhere else, but it is.